Hi everyone, I'm Alison from Like Dotty and I'm here to launch hashtag a gift to November. So if you've not heard about it yet, welcome along. This is a collaboration with myself and Adam from Adam Sews. His vlog is tomorrow, and then throughout the whole of November, every single day, there are one and some days two vloggers bringing you their ideas of gifts they are making. Now, obviously, when I thought about this, I was kind of thinking about Christmas, but I do recognise that not everybody celebrates Christmas. So the ideas that we're sharing could be gifts that you could use all year round. And the idea is that there are no rules. You know, I'm a rule breaker if you follow my channel normally. So, but actually there's one rule, and that is that it's got to have some element of sewing in it. So that could be something that you're hand embroidering. It could be a coat for your dog, a bandana. It could be a scrunchie. It could be anything. And all that we ask is, over the month of November, it would be amazing to see you share those things that you're making on Instagram. And if you're sharing in the build-up, you just need to use hashtag a gift to November and put WIP at the end. And then on the very last day, the 30th of November, please share anything that you've made on there to go into the prize draw. And I'm going to tell you about the prizes shortly because we've got some mint prizes, I've got to say. So on the day, on the 30th, use the hashtag a gift to November and tag myself or Adam into that, and you will go into the prize draw. So if you're tagging me in, it would be at Like Dotty or it would be at Adam Sews. We don't want to miss anybody out, so if you tag us both, that's even better. It is just a random prize draw, so we will just be kind of pulling. There's no judging, like who am I to say this is better than that? That's not the case at all. And I'm really excited to see what you make and come up with. So I'm kind of going to kick it off today. I'm going to tell you about the prizes later, so hang fire for that. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that are on my mind that I'm thinking that I'm going to make. And I'm sure some of these will, you know, that there'll be multiple times that people are talking about maybe the same thing, but there may be different patterns. There may be different ways in people make them. There might be different things that they're doing for fabric. So some people might want to upcycle some fabric, sheets or bed sheets and things to use in things. It doesn't have to be that you're going out and necessarily spending money. And I also was thinking over the last few days about things you could gift to somebody over Christmas that may or may not have a cost. So for example, if you've got a spare sewing machine that you just don't use because you've upgraded onto something else, but you know a friend or a family member would love to have a go at sewing, you could maybe gift them a loan of your machine, and not necessarily giving them it forever, but just to have a go and see if they like it, or give them a gift of your time to come and sit with you and you make something together and you talk them through how to make it. How lovely would that be? I'm quite a visual learner, so to sit with somebody would really help me with things when I'm learning it. So the gift could be of your time. Now obviously that's not eligible for a gift in November, but I was just kind of thinking there are lots of things, maybe things that you've got that are sewing related that you're not using anymore, maybe sewing magazines or even patterns that you've downloaded but you're not using or you've used that you could pass on. And obviously fabrics that you could gift. You could use fabrics to wrap something up that somebody could make something out of. Can you see my mind's just going crazy? So anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome along. I hope you can stay with me. Today could go all over the place, but definitely on the list, well, it's got to be on most people's list, is making some PJs for somebody, some pyjamas for somebody this year. So one of my sewing students came in with some lovely brushed cotton the other day. It was the last 2 meters that she'd got from the guy she got it from. I forgot, like winceyette, flannelette, that kind of thing, how lovely it is. I know that I've seen some stores online and in person are getting that sort of fabric in now. But I did look at some and I was kind of thinking, well, by the time I make some pyjama bottoms for myself, got to be a little gift in there for us somewhere, hasn't there? And my daughter, and probably my husband, who's next door, so I can't say very loud. That could get a little bit pricey, really. So I had a little look, and I did find some pink checked brush cotton, sorry, lost my train of thought, on a duvet. So this is a new duvet. I don't think I've had a brush cotton bedding since I was about 7 in the 70s. And some of the stripy stuff takes me right back, and you remember those sheets. So I have found, I'll drop a picture in, and by the time you see this, I'll have ordered it, so I know I've got one in the bag. Now, I saw this on Amazon in the UK, but I also found it in the range, and it was actually cheaper in the range. So it's a duvet set, a duvet cover and pillowcases. Now the double size is 2 meters by 2 meters, and one side is a big check and one side is a smaller check. So both sides will be entirely usable. Now I tend to make bottoms and I tend to wear t-shirty tops. My daughter sometimes wears a camisole, but she's in a new flat this year and I know she's looking for warmer stuff. She's actually bought a duvet cover of this fabric to keep, to help keep her warm. So what I was thinking was, this is the pattern that I used last year for pyjamas, so I know her size already in these. I know I made them far too long, so I know I can crop them a little bit. And there is a t-shirt in this, so I may make her a t-shirt. So I'm thinking to use some of the check, either the big or the little, for these pyjama bottoms for her. And what I was thinking for her was to make probably a shirt. Now I don't have a shirt pattern, but what I do have is the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress, which is behind me, which is effectively a button down placket. Now obviously it ends at the waist, but I thought, what is to stop me lengthening that, making that in her size? I would just I think I've got some more frilly bouncy sleeves in that, so do it kind of a plain sleeve for her and making that as a top with the buttons on, so it was an actual full set. But I'm thinking with the fabric I can mix and match the checks. Now they do it in Super King, so I was kind of thinking I might even get a bigger one and I've got a bit more, because for myself I was thinking of making I usually wear a t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt top, but what I was thinking about doing was maybe doing my 2-back hack of the Friday Pattern Company saguaro set and making that a little bit longer and using that as a top to make a set for me. But I might mix and match the checks. You could do all sorts, couldn't you? So I could do mine saying the bigger check on the bottoms, but I might even make it so I attach the smaller check at the very bottom, so it's just got that little bit of difference in it. And then I was thinking the pillowcases and the leftovers, I can make some maybe bags and stuff like that in. Maybe I could make a drawstring bag and put an Ira's pyjamas in it as part of the gift, like a little wash bag sort of thing. So this pattern's quite versatile for simplicity. You might have it already, or somebody you know might have. And obviously you've got dressing gown, you've got shorts, you've got vests, you've got t-shirts, and it's got all genders in it. And it's a reasonable size range. So the bust and chest goes up to a 48 inch. I know that won't do for everybody. It depends which one you take. Holding that up doesn't show you the sizes, does it? What I might do is take a picture of that and drop it in, so you can pause it and check the sizes if I do it that way around. You can see it's been well used, can't you? Other things that I've got that have got pyjamas in are the Make It Simple book by Tilly and the Buttons. So if you're looking for something that's more of a jersey pyjama, you've got gorgeous Sam there. So you could make the Juno pyjamas, which is actually the tab of the t-shirt. So if you've already got that, you could just trace those out and make those. Again, you might have some jersey kicking around that you could use for that. There are lots of different options in this book. So a couple of pages further on, you've got page Joanna in the shorts set, again with the tab of the t-shirt. So, if you've only got a little bit of fabric, you could do that. So I've got some Christmas fabrics, but I've not got an awful lot left of them. But even if you've got some of this kicking about from last year, you might have enough that you could maybe make somebody some Christmassy shorts or something like that, I was kind of thinking. And then if you even don't have enough for that, but you need to make a lot of sort of smaller gifts, in here you've also got a sleep mask as well, so a little face mask, so you could give that as well. There are lots of versions like that you could literally just download the pattern from on Google or something and get those. So yeah, I'm definitely going to make a bit of a mixture of pyjamas, and I'm definitely going to order that duvet set because I think the double size one ended up being $18.99 and it was free. I'm sure it was free delivery or collection. I do live quite near to arrange to collect it. Now it's 2 meters by 2 meters, so I know that even, you know, my legs are a lot wider than Anira's are to cut it, that's a good amount of fabric to get for £19 and have extra left, because you're automatically going to get the pillowcases and things, aren't you, left over. So I'm thinking there's probably quite a lot that I could get out of that towards gifts and things, and they do have some darker colours and stuff like that in it, so maybe check out some things like that. You might have something in the cupboard that you could use. I know we've just done sort upcycles, so you've probably already had a little rummage. Maybe it's worth checking out. So, you know, we're all on a budget. Gifts don't have to cost a lot. Fabric can be expensive, but let's kind of think about what we've already got. So maybe not using patterns. And if you do want a free pyjama pant pattern, there is also the free pattern from, it's called Walk the Plank, and that's with Patterns for Pirates. So, you know, again, you could print that out, stick it together. It's not going to cost you anything at all for the pattern for that. There are loads and loads and loads of free patterns out there. So if you're looking for free t-shirt, the Galaxy tee is free. I think it's the Tessuti boat neck tee is free. So lots of ways that you could, you know, kind of gather some patterns without spending any money either. Talking of which, one of the things that I want to do, my mother-in-law, bless her, is getting a little stooped over these days, and she's got lots of lovely skirts and trousers and things that are far too long, and I keep putting off kind of altering them because I'm just, by the time I take the waistband off and kind of almost remake them, I just know that it's quite a big project. So one of the things I thought I would do, which will be easier for her because she's in her 80s and her mobility's restricted, so one of the things I thought I would do is make a couple of garments for Christmas with elasticated waists. So I'm going to have to be honest with her. If I'm going to make clothes from her, I need to know her size. Now, you know, if you're making something for your hubster or your kids or whatever, you can kind of sneak into the wardrobe and measure them and you would know their size. But if it's somebody you don't know, you've just got to be upfront and say, I want to make you something for Christmas. It's going to be a surprise, but I'm going to need some measurements off you to do it, and you need to be honest with me about what those measurements are as well. And it may be that I don't do the hemming until after Christmas, but I just thought it would be really nice to kind of make some things like that. I know her colours, she really likes purples and things. So one of the things that I'm looking at, again, this is a free pattern. This is from the Little Pomegranate, and it's the Sabina skirt. And I have made this twice for myself. Now, I'm not a skirt person, so it didn't suit me. It did suit me in jersey, the first one I did, and then I did it in a chambray denim and it did suit me, but skirts don't suit me. It's too much bulk around my waist. So I wouldn't make it as long as this, just because with it being stooped over it would be on the floor. But I thought I could make this, and I might not do the ruffle on it, I don't know, but I think I could easily kind of knock a couple of these up for her. So that is definitely something that I'm thinking of, and I will come back and kind of show you what I've made. Oh God, I've just made a big commitment to myself in November, haven't I? And the other pattern that I was thinking of for her to make some trousers, I'll just find it, is in the same book, the Make It Simple book, because I've already got this, the Sapphire trousers, which I absolutely love. And these are, for me, these are like an hour make now. I don't put pockets in. I don't think Alice would be bothered about having pockets in them either. But there'd be a nice, comfortable sort of elastic waisted pull-on trouser for her. And obviously, I can just hem them up. You know, we'll just do a little fitting, maybe on Boxing Day or something like that. So I'm kind of thinking at least a skirt and a pair of trousers, possibly a little bit more depending on time. So I just need to kind of get some fabric for that, because I've actually in the loft I think I've got 6 meters of like a cord that I got in lockdown, a very fine needle cord. I can't even remember where I got it from. And I got it to make a coat, which I've still not made 2 years later. But it was a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. Can you remember when we all got fabric and it wasn't what you thought and stuff, because you couldn't see it or feel it? So I've actually got, arriving possibly today or tomorrow, 2 of the Dylon in the machine die packs. They're just like a little round thing. So I'm going to cut it into 2 3 metre lengths. Yes, I'm sure it says 3 metres, and I'm going to do them in 2 batches, and I got purple. Now I'd really like purple, but I realised with the Sew Purple for ALZ challenge that Michelle did that I don't really buy purple, but I really like it. So I've ordered the dye in purple, and I knew that if I used that, I could do that for Alice's skirt. So one of these will definitely be either this or the trousers in some purple needle cord, which I think would be really nice. And I know that that'll complement lots of things that are in her wardrobe as well. Mostly because we got her a purple winter coat a couple of years ago. It's a bit of a theme, isn't it? So yeah, that's my mother-in-law sorted out. My father-in-law, I could make some pyjama bottoms for, but I don't want to overwhelm myself with what I'm going to do because I'm feeling like there's quite a lot already. I did forget the other day to mention that, and I'm sure he'll mention these himself, Adam, when he shares tomorrow, but he sent me these most beautiful slippers that he's made out of tulip pink fabrics. How just gorgeous are they? Absolutely adorable. They've got denim on the back, all quilted. So I'm not going to spend too long on that, but it just made me think, I mean, you know, Adam's technique is amazing. He's so good at quilting, and it's something I'm quite new to. But you know, there are lots of things you could make. Like I've made the quilted sew and bee jacket for myself. You could make that for somebody. Anything really, any garment. But I couldn't not acknowledge these because they're just absolutely beautiful. So thank you, Adam. You do know how much I appreciated it, and yeah, I just love them, so thank you. So something like that, have a look around. Often, I think I've already got it with one of my sewing magazines that I get, like a little booklet that's got different ideas in for making gifts and things like that. There are lots of things you can do out of fat quarters. So most of my fat quarters are packed in my sewing school kit. But I was talking to one of the girls because on the second session they make a tote bag, and I think a lot of them have kind of gone and got fat quarters. So with a fat quarter you wouldn't have enough fabric. This is the size, I know this is in perspective, so this is kind of what I use as my template for the rectangle tote bag, and this is it against a fat quarter. So obviously you want 2 sides, so there wouldn't be enough in a fat quarter to make up both sides of the outer of a bag. But what I was saying to Suzanne was, it is okay to kind of maybe use the base of one fabric. These aren't ones that they were in the same batch from Sew Hayley Jane, but they're not necessarily ones I would put together in a bag. Now I know that looks upside down and I've already cut into this, so bear with me, but what I was saying to her was you can join fabric together to make a bigger piece. So if you've got fat quarters that you want them to use up, or scrap fabric that you want them to use up, consider maybe just getting 2 different fabrics. So maybe like, you know, like this. You could use some piping along it, or a little bit of ribbon or trim along it if you wanted to, or you could just sew it together. But that's a way of kind of creating a bigger piece of fabric that you can then make something else out of. So it was just to kind of mention that, because you might have things like, you know, I've got this cut, but you know, I've not got any purpose in mind particularly for it. I do have these out of cardboard, so that's the strap cut on the fold, that's the bag to cut on the fold. This is what I make and what my students take away, and then this is sort of a rounded template. Now one of my gifts, one of the prizes, might have something to do with this, so keep listening in. So that's one of the things that I'm thinking of. Now I don't know about making bags, because I've kind of made bags for everybody, but there might be some people I haven't made bags for that I could. Now I'm sure I'm not the only person who loves to make and give the reusable facial wipes. There are lots of ways you can do that. You can do them on a sewing machine, so you can cut out, let's say this was my example, you can cut out your squares or your circles of this fabric and join it. Now when I first did these, I just got a pack of, I think it was 6 terry nappies, and I used that. Now beware that anything like that, I think people use is it bamboo terry? I might have got that name wrong, but it does go, the bits go everywhere. But what I did do, and I know if you're not in the UK you won't have this, but you might have a similar shop. My daughter was picking up some things for a new flat in Primark. Now this was a few months ago, but I spotted these little sets. Now these are microfiber cloths. There's 5 in a pack and it was £1.50. Now I wouldn't use the top one, but when I picked them up, they are so soft. So this is one of them here. They're just overlocked kind of to finish around the edges anyway, but these are so beautifully soft. Now what I've started to do with the overlocker with these, a little bit different, is rather than cutting I do them as squares. So rather than cutting the squares, what I do is I just put them together like this and then go down on the overlocker. So if I had a square of fabric and a square of this, I would draw the lines onto the fabric that I was going to follow, or you could use a quilting guide. No, you can't, not an overlocker, not that. So I would draw the lines onto here that I was going to follow, and then what I would do, instead of actually cutting them, I would let the overlocker cut them. So I would just go down there, and then when it got to the end I would just go along there. So I'm basically using the overlocker to cut them into squares. I found that caused less debris, and I found that it was much quicker. And what looks really cute, because I think when I was at Sawtoon I lent Lynn something, I can't remember what it was. Lynn from Lions Made with Love, Tamlin's mum. Lynn's lovely. Interfacing, maybe it's coming back to me. So, and then she brought me the most lovely gift, which was, just pretend, go with me, a little set of these tied up with string. So I've always got ribbon kicking about. So how lovely would that be? I'm doing a mock-up, so bear with, because I've got some people who help me out in my group, and every year I get them some Christmas presents. Now sometimes there can be between 30 and 50 of them, so it's a lot of gifts. So you can imagine I don't want to spend an awful lot of money, and that sounds awful. I really value the help that they give me. It's just a lot of presents to buy. So what I was thinking was this year to make these and tie them up with ribbon. I've got little paper bags that I would put them in as a little thank you gift, and I think they'll be really nice. So I actually got about 4 or 5 sets of these. I can't remember how much the Terry nappies were. I've probably got some of that left, but I reckon I've probably got enough of these that I could make maybe 3 of them for each person, and then I'll probably just put something like a little wax melt or something like that in there with it as well, as a little thank you gift. So I know lots of people will be making things like that, but keep your scraps, guys. One of the girls last week that was making trousers had some of the beautiful William Morris fabric, and she was dropping it into the bin, and I was kind of going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Keep your scraps. I was like pulling it out going, oh, you could get this out of that and this out of that. So yeah, don't ditch your scraps, and use them for things, because, you know, something like that I could turn into some nice wipes or something like that. So that's where I'm at with my gift thinking. There's nothing outrageous in there at all, probably pretty straightforward. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Tomorrow, fingers crossed, I do get to swap this machine over for my embroidery one, so there is a possibility that things might have some embroidery on at Christmas, but I need to kind of work out how I use it first. So have I kept you waiting for long enough? Should we go through the prizes? Who's excited? Put your hands up. Right, wait till I get my system back up and running again, because it's on a little snooze. So apologies for looking down when I tell you this. They're in no particular order. They're in the order that they came in between me and Adam, and I do want to say a massive thank you to Adam for co-hosting this. He's been absolutely awesome. I just love him to bits. I love his sense of humour. If you've not checked out his channel yet, Adam Sews, go check it out. Absolutely fabulous. So the first one is a £10 voucher from Shirl at So Affordable Fabrics. The second pattern is a voucher for AO printing at Flamingo Prints. The third one is a voucher to get some scissors sharpened and a box of threads from David Drummond Wools, which is where I get my machines from at Edinburgh. The fourth one is a £25 voucher from First for Fabrics. Then we've got a £40 voucher from Rainbow Fabrics. Number 6 is from me. It's going to be 2 make your own tote bag kits. So I'm going to send you the pattern, some fabric and the bits and pieces that you need to do that, and the instructions that I share with my students. And Adam is next, and he is giving out 3 copies of his new little curved zip-up little zip-up bags, which are beautiful. I've got that pattern. We have next got a £40 goodie box from Hayley Jane. From Bobbins and Buttons, we've got 3 PDF downloads and a £20 voucher, which is awesome. The next one, Adam and I were just absolutely blown away by, and I don't mean that to sound disrespectful to anybody else, but we were just kind of like, what an awesome gift that is. So we've got 10 €15 gift vouchers from Wardrobe by Me, so that'll be 10 prizes there. We've got a premium printing pack from CIC Essex, and we've got a free pattern download from the Friday Pattern Company. The next prize is from Tamlin at Sewn on the Tyne, and it's from her brand Roos Rocket, and she makes children's clothing, which is gorgeous. You must have seen the beautiful stuff that she makes for friends' children and for a son. And so Tamlin is going to make a from newborn to age 6 sweatshirt, so she'll be having a conversation with the winner about fabrics and things there. Next, from lovely Jane, we've got a PDF download from the Dressmakers Closet. Then from Style Arc, we've got a PDF download. And from Sew Over It, we've got not 1, not 2, but a bumper pack for one person of 3 PDF downloads, which is amazing. Always Knitting and Stitching have given us a £15 voucher, which is fabulous. And Crafty Sew and Sew have also given us a free pattern PDF download. Obviously, you can then choose which you want. We've not chosen them for you. From Waves and Wild, we've got a $20 gift card to spend on their site. And from Felicity Fabrics, we've got a £30 gift voucher as well. So we may have some more to come in yet, but honestly, I've not done this before. I know Adam has done his Boys Sew 2 kind of thing in the summer. But we're just absolutely amazed by the generosity of absolutely everybody, because from small companies, particularly, I've got to say, particularly smaller companies, independent companies, have been very, very, very generous. So massive thank you to everybody, because every donation has been completely appreciated. And if there's anybody out there watching who's thinking I would have donated, then please get in touch with me and message me on Instagram at Like Dotty, because we would love everybody to be involved, and the more prizes the better. So I hope that's been a little bit of an exciting launch. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and I can't wait to see the rest of the vlogs. Thanks to all of the vloggers for taking part. It's an amazing commitment, and very generous of you to give your time in that way. And I'm just so excited because we might all be ready for Christmas at the end of November. How amazing would that be, instead of Christmas Eve? So thank you, take care, and bye for now.